great privilege and pleasure to be here, and I really thank TAP Group for organizing this. Grant Thornton has been the knowledge partner for organizing this event. Some of the new concepts, I think, which is probably as we see the kind of audiences. To be very frank, I have not seen this kind of audiences even in the large programs being oriented and probably planned by various other institutions. And especially with this kind of new innovative thoughts and new innovative areas, we have such a kind of pleasure and large participation of audiences. It's great to see that. We have esteemed panelists over here from different verticals, and I'm very happy to probably announce their name one by one, and I request them to take their seat. So we have, first of all, we have our Shri S. Chalaiya ji, Director Horticulture, NDMC. Please give a round of applause, everyone, please. Thank you. We have Dr. S. S. Sindhu ji, Head Division of Floriculture and Landscaping, ICI. Please, sir. We have the lady Miss Annapurna, Senior Investment Specialist from Invest India. Please give a round of applause. We have Shri S. K. Singh ji, Joint Director, National Horticulture Board, Government of India. It's an honor and to see the kind of panelists we have, ranging from participation from the Delhi government and definitely from the Government of India also, and definitely from the Invest India perspective. I think it's a holistic panel we have. So now I would request, as a team, I think I can sit over there. I can take a privilege to sit over there and take.
Press it for a few seconds.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I think it's. Ladies and gentlemen, so we have, first of all, I would request Sindhu ji to take that lead and probably initiate. Hello. So I would request Sindhu sir to probably come on the dais, and he has very informative presentation which he would like to give it to us, and which would talk about something about urban farming, the new concepts, and probably the way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, my request is that we wanted to be not a monologue, right? It's a healthy discussion we wanted to have, and whosoever probably feel that they wanted to ask some of the questions from the panelists, they can raise their hand, and I'm sure the team can help you to raise those questions, and we can have the answers thereafter. So I would request Sindhu sir to go ahead and give us a presentation. If we can have a presentation on the slide, please.
Give me a remote if it is available. So good afternoon, dear friends. It's my proud privilege to be here this afternoon to listen to all of you. Just I will not go into detail. Rather than going one-to-one question, I thought that let's have a quick recap some of the some of the presentations, some of the slides. Just I will quickly go through. And particularly since I belong to floriculture and landscaping, and particularly horticulture, so I will speak more on vertical gardening. Though since working at IRA, I am so closely associated with the Indore Land Project, that is known as Project Center for Technical Technology. So once this session is over, then one of our colleagues, Rajesh is there. He will be speaking in detail on plant health particularly, and he is also one of our colleagues working in the same project. So I will also be touching few of the slides related to vertical farming, but more focus will be on vertical gardening. Since we are working in a city and there is city in Thailand and in Delhi, and since my old association with the hospital honored by reputation of the vertical garden, so I will be touching some of the issues related to vertical gardening. Just quickly that it is not an option, it is a necessity. Because we don't have any land so horizontally, so we are bound to go vertically. So this answer is good enough, I think. This is a problem that we are facing. A lot of population press repeated this industrialization and limited resources are available. So therefore we are bound to go for vertical farming, vertical gardening. So as far as the type is concerned, you are all well aware, and even many more people must be well aware with the different kind of vertical garden, even more than this. Living wall, green vineyards, and indoor and outdoor. What are the different benefits? We all well aware. What are the different benefits? The first and foremost is the environmental benefit, aesthetic benefit, and the economic benefit, no doubt about it, and the health benefit, which is very, very important. As far as the media is concerned, that we are using, what kind of media we can use in the vertical garden. This CVP, cocoa for light, vermiculite, and soil, and rock wool, and light clay aggregates, and moss grass, thermocol, and oasis. These are all media are being used in the vertical garden, which you know it is being used at Delhi and other part of the country, particularly Bombay, Pune, and many of the other Bangalore, Bombay, and Hyderabad kind of city. As far as the planting material is concerned, that one has to be very alert while selecting the planting material. While you select the vertical garden for outdoor, the planting material is entirely different. When you select the planting material for indoor, the planting material is entirely different. So it's listed here in the slides. For indoor, it's more of a variegated kind of plant, particularly the green one, variegated one, whereas for the outdoor, particularly the bougainvillea, crocella, crassula, and cactus, and many more rheobicula, these are the many plants. Even more than, it's a very big list, some of them are listed here. And as far as the frame is concerned, that many people are sitting here, even they know better than me, particularly what different kind of frames these companies are manufacturing nowadays. The frame, steel frame, plastic frame. So as far as the frame is concerned, that steel goes very costly. So plastic frame is little cheaper. And the port also that earlier we had used to different kind of ports, but nowadays this plastic port and the waste material, particularly this biscuit bottle and all kind of material is being used for as port. And types, there are many, the hanging one and the standing and the different and the slanting. And as far as the irrigation system, irrigation system is concerned, that dripper are being used, particularly the manual system is also being used, and drip method, and maintenance are again very, very challenging. So that we have to look into. So this is one of the pictures showing the vertical gardening, and then green vanilla, so it doesn't need to grow on the building or wall. It can be grown on the soil, and it can be created, and it can touch the building and create this picture sculpture. Trellising, again this kind of trellising is very, very important, and this kind of trellising, even it can be made of wooden, it may be made of wall, or any kind of climbing type of roses, or different kind of climbers can be climb on such type of structure. Even at 7 days course, that we are lucky enough that we could able to create such kind of trellising and putting the red roses, particularly the climbing roses, at the Prime Minister visit. So in the veranda and kind of things, particularly in the interior, so we can go for some asparagus and pines and syngoniums and different kind of planting material. This is being shown here. As far as the airport is concerned, or some restaurant, or some bigger space, or five-star hotel, or something like that, some kind of walls can be created, and some vertical benefit can be taken out of it. Green screen. So green screen is very, very common, and you perhaps may be aware that Vernonia creeper is very, very common. One of the very common, even house ladies and my good friends must be aware with the Vernonia creeper. And apart from the Vernonia creeper, there are many other creepers which can be used as a green screen. Dr. Suleya is here that will add on some of the another climber which can be used as a like this. So as far as the vegetable is concerned, these can also be used as a vertical kind of things, particularly the kale group, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprout. So these are the kale group vegetables which can be used. And the terrace gardening, again, it can also be a pergola kind of things. It's also a part of the vertical gardening, and you might be observing such kind of a structure in many of the park, particularly in the city park. And the different kind of flowers can be used in the vertical garden, particularly the petunia, pansy, and French marigold, and the ice plant, and so many kindly. You can look into it kindly. This dwarf one, particularly, that is the only issue that we must go for. Gazebo roof garden, again very, very common, and we can create a roof gardening, and even the temperature of the your house can be brought down to 10 degrees or even to 15 degrees lower than the outside. So these are some of the pictures related to arches and the pergola seen here. Fruiting and wines can also be part of the vertical gardening, and we can have the fresh tomato, cherry, and we can have the fresh grapes. In case of this vertical garden, and some kind of wall or tapestry can also be created, and the wall like this can also be created as shown here in the picture. So likewise, different tapestry as a lawn on the rooftop that can also be.
So we can make it.
Yes,
yes.
just can you operate quickly from there? Yes, yes. Actually, in case of just I wanted to show here that one of the picture related to this Hyderabad airport, that rather than going for a irregular type of trees which is spreading too big, so we should go for a columnar and straight type of the plant selection so that it behaves like a vertical garden. Next please. Vertical garden, next. Even you can grow for some climbing roses in the vertical fashion. Next Albergia, again the vertical flowers. So a hanging type of heliconia and bird of paradise. Next, some of the potted plant can also be a part of the vertical garden like this. Next, in the 5-star hotel and all. So even some of the gardens can also be behave like this, and bougainvillea as a vertical kind of thing, instant display. Next. So it's again just I will show you one or two slides related to vertical farming. That physically you are also welcome to visit our city center at IRI Bhusan Valley anytime. Next. So cucumber and then vertical vegetable, it's a rooftop, particularly you can harvest the fresh vegetable and you can eat it and consume with your family members. Yes, next. Capsicum, next, vertical farm, and then tomato, next. So this is a brief, just to recap some of the highlights of the related issues, and we will discuss in detail. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, sir. I think it's a great learning for everyone, especially for me. Highlighting the work which has been done across the country, including Hyderabad Airport, ICR. I think couple of areas which ICR already are doing, and it might request those the audiences over here, if they have time, probably do make a plan for visiting ICR, because a lot of work has already been done. and it would be great that wherever those opportunities are there, and we can take some ideas from there, and definitely we can implement wherever we can as an entrepreneurship. I think great contribution. Now I would probably move to Chalaiya sir. I think Chalaiya ji, it's been pleasure, and you have been working as director and DMC, probably seeing a lot of areas. Now it's something very specific, right? Delhi, it's where the event is happening, and we wanted to really understand in terms of how urban farming is really feasible in terms of Delhi as a context, right? It's been happening in Singapore and a couple of various parts of the world, but Delhi is yet to pick up. So your views around the same, sir?
Thank you so much for this vertical farming show. It's actually around hours. Yes, of course, Chiragji, it is need of power, it is possible, and it is one of the important for promoting this vertical farming like Singapore and in other countries. Because our country is having lots of demand for food, and how much we are producing, and how much we are producing out of that, how much we are producing quality food. That is very much important. Today we are losing so much of food due to the food mileage and all those transportation, all those things. But to reduce that food mileage, all those things, and the urban people also know, very difficult to get good quality food and vegetables. So there are a lot of potentials in the urban farming. Because people know everybody wanted to have a fresh vegetables and fresh fruits. So where they can go? The market is that it is not the only solution. So every people wanted to grow fresh vegetables in their backyards or in their terrace, or otherwise even urban farming in the outskirts of the urban area, so that the vegetables, fresh vegetables and fruits that can reach within short span of time to the people and residents. So a lot of demand is there. The thing is, who will do? That is the question. And if everybody wanted to grow, who will assist? Everybody wanted to grow. Even in fact, I am as a director of horticulture, I am working in New Delhi municipal area. But wherever I go, the people expectations are high. Sir, they used to ask me, sir, can you give me the good person, good body, good gardener? So again, everybody wanted to grow vegetables, everybody wanted to gardening in the urban areas, or everybody wanted to do the vertical gardening or indoor gardening or whatever that. But ultimately, interest is growing one side, and the other challenges are in the other side. So who will meet? Who will bridge the gap? That is important. Then for that, we need the promotional persons like entrepreneurs. Many entrepreneurs, a lot of scope. Because these days, किचन गार्डन करने के लिए लोग बहुत हैं, इंटरेस्ट है, लेकिन वो अपने खुद कर नहीं सकते. अगर कुछ लोग कर ऐसा पैशन, but many of them they depend on others for soil, for media, or good plants, and good money. So who will bridge that gap? These kind of the demands. उसके लिए एक एंटरप्रेन्योर्स ये बहुत स्कोप है. लेकिन दिल्ली में और मुंबई में और चेन्नई और बैंगलोर में अगर इंडिया में अगर देखते हैं, बहुत सिटी है, 4000 सिटी है. अगर 4000 सिटी के करने के लिए एक दो एंटरप्रेन्योर सफिशिएंट है. We need lakhs and lakhs of entrepreneurs. That means we have lot of potential to start up this kind of the business. So youngster like you people, you should come forward to make a kind of business modules to how to start up and how to give this in a very cheaper and minimum and services. That is important. So urban farming के इंडिया में बहुत स्कोप है. Even vertical farming में आजकल तो पोल्यूशन इतना बढ़ रही है, not only दिल्ली है और अदर सिटीज में. तो हमको वर्टिकल फार्मिंग है, वर्टिकल गार्डनिंग करने के लिए आदमी चाहिए, इसके लिए एक इंस्टीट्यूट चाहिए। फार्मर इंस्टीट्यूट इंडिया में नहीं है। अभी भी हमारे देश में 5 मिलियन गार्डनर्स का रिक्वायरमेंट है। गार्डनर्स में they can do gardening as well as vegetable garden or whatever type of the garden. Even these polyhouse growing, hydroponics, every business can start it. But need is who will take care of that. Business start करते हैं, lakhs and lakhs, crores and crores invest करते हैं, उसके बाद सब कुछ बिल्डअप हो जाता है, लेकिन मेंटेनेंस के आदमी नहीं है। फिर जो क्रोर्स एंड क्रोर्स इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है सारे ऐसे हो जाता है। सो वेयर इज द सस्टेनेबिलिटी? सो फर्स्ट ये पॉसिबल है, ऐसे ये नहीं सोचना, पॉसिबल है। आपके पास जो नर्सरी है, जो आपके पास जस्ट लाइक जैन इरिगेशन के पास है, बड़े इंडिया के जो एग्रीकल्चर प्रमोशन में जैन इरिगेशन कितना महत्वपूर्ण रोल है, ऐसे जस्ट लाइक नेट ऑफ व्यू में और इरिगेशन कंपनी और कई प्रोसेसिंग इंडस्ट्री, दे शुड कम अप विद द proposal for starting the skill development unit. पहले जो देश के क्या चाहिए, स्किल्ड पर्सन चाहिए, तभी एग्रीकल्चर प्रमोशन होगा, अर्बन फार्मिंग प्रमोशन होगा। अभी अर्बन में भी मैं दिल्ली के आउटस्कर्ट्स में अगर मैं 10 एकड़ 15 एकड़ में अगर वेजिटेबल गार्डन स्टार्ट करूं, लेकिन उसके करने के लिए मेरे को पहले इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए। सेकेंड, यहाँ पर दिल्ली क्लाइमेट में कितना मिट्टी की चैलेंजेस कितना है, पानी में कितना चैलेंजेस है, वेदर में कितना चैलेंजेस है, उसके कैसे ओवरकम करें। अगर वो भी चलो कर दिया है, लेकिन जो लेबर अवेलेबिलिटी, स्किल्ड लेबर, दैट इज वेरी बिग चैलेंज। बिकॉज दिल्ली में विद इन द आउटस्कर्ट्स दे कैन गेट द गुड जॉब एंड दे गेट गुड सैलरी आल्सो। सो नोबडी लाइक टू कम फॉर दिस अर्बन फार्मिंग, एग्रीकल्चर फार्मिंग। सेकेंडली, these days the gardening or whatever that farming they are doing, they how much they are getting their self-esteem, they get question. They ये actually ये physically काम करने वाला है, ऐसे नहीं है smartly just जाएंगे काम करके तो ऐसे आएंगे। So इसलिए इसी सेक्टर के प्रेफरेंस लोग कम करते हैं। इसके कैसे चेंज करें? चेंज करने के लिए हमारे पास ये होना चाहिए, how to promote this one as a smart gardener, a smart person, so that they himself feel that I am the gardener. I have a very good self-respect and esteem and salary. So this kind of the mentality we have to promote. अगर promote करते हैं, हमारा देश में जो matriculate, non-matriculate person इतना ज़्यादा है, उन लोग सबको एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिल जाएगा, कोई माइग्रेशन का प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा। तो अपने गांव में काम करेगा, अपने गांव में अच्छी तरह का काम करेंगे तो बिल्कुल एक रूरल का, एक विलेज का प्रोडक्शन एंड फार्म का प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ेगा। अगर प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ेगी तो हमारा देश के टोटल ग्रॉस प्रोडक्शन इंप्रूव होगा।
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. I think very useful from the perspective of really motivating. And you talked about startup, you talked about young entrepreneurs, and definitely those investments. So we have someone, probably youngsters over here. So we have Annapurna. So I would probably ask Annapurna to really talk about something, how, because you are part of Invest India ecosystem, and when there is a need, right, 5 million gardeners, there is a lot of investment which has to come in, skill development has to come in. So it's not something which is a one piece has to really work upon. It should be a complete ecosystem which has to plug in and work towards this to really take the sector to new heights. So what are the possible areas as an Invest India team you think would be done and would be doing so these events or probably these opportunities can be taken higher? Thank you.
So for those who don't know what Invest India is, so basically the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, we fall under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry with the core mandate to get investments into various sectors in the country. We also work on a lot of issue resolution cases. So if a company is facing problems in doing business in India, it's essentially our role to help support them and do the best we can to get their businesses going. Urban farming, vertical farming, hydroponics, aquaponics, these are all very new areas in agriculture. They're also very effective areas, given the fact that they can help us reduce our dependence on water resources, land resources. The idea of proportional as we can, and obviously there is a need to bring in as many investments as we can into this sector. And by sector, I don't just mean, helping set up poly houses, but the lighting systems that we require, the pipe systems that we require, they're all very expensive in India right now by virtue of the fact that there's not enough suppliers. So the idea essentially is to interact with as many people as we can. Hello, yeah. To interact with as many people as we can, to get in companies to sort of start investing in these areas, and then obviously reduce costs so that the benefits of having urban farming can percolate to the lowest levels possible. Urban farming is still a fairly expensive setup to get into. To have a scalable project, you need to have a 10-acre farm, which is mostly impossible for a small farmer to set up or get into, and even if they get into it, it's not scalable. So the idea is to get it to a place where it becomes scalable. Another sort of mandate that Invest India has is policy recommendations. So there is no policy on hydroponics or urban farming, vertical farming at this point in time. I know a couple of states are working on it, but at the central level, there's a lot left to desire. And again, the idea is to get as much stakeholder consultation as we can to understand the areas where a sort of policy push is required, and to just help increase and grow this sector as much as possible, because it has a lot of scope given the food security issues that the world is facing. This is a space that can actually help a lot in that area, and again, as Invest India, bringing investments and guiding policy as much as we can is what we are looking for.
I think amazing, bringing new policy dimensions around this urban farming and vertical farming as a concept is great. And you rightly said it's a high investment opportunity, and for that high investment opportunity we need subsidies. So I'll go to National Horticulture Board, SK Singh ji sir. So a National Horticulture Board has been probably supporting entrepreneurs and farmers to really invest in various areas into agriculture and horticulture space. So now this as a new concept, and where there is no such component of vertical farming is being considered as on date as a part of the ecosystem of providing subsidies to entrepreneurs. So what are the take and what are the further expectation and further plans for considering the vertical farming components? Since up to you.
First of all, I'm very much thankful of event organizer that they had given the opportunity to say something about NHB schemes and components which we are not considering, maybe consider in future like that. So first of all, I'm agreed with you that we are not considering the vertical farming and the hydroponic as such, but we are considering in another component like the previous officers are saying, we are considering polyhouse, net house. If somebody want to go to establishment or creation of the polyhouse, net house, and cultivation of the different horticulture crops like fruit, flowers, vegetable. So we are giving, NHB is giving 35% to 50% subsidy in different component. So, but whatever Mr. Chirag said, we'll try and we'll search on the option and in future. If we can do something, if it is really high tech and some technology development or innovation is there, we will certainly consider in future. But at this moment, we are not having such component. We are having so many schemes, like perhaps in morning session, someone explained about NHB scheme. So mainly we are having two schemes. One is development of commercial horticulture through production and post-harvest management. Under that, we are providing 35% to 50% subsidy. So on different heads like polyhouse, net house, open cultivation of different fruits in open cultivation, vegetable and flowers in polyhouse, net house, like that. And cold storage, we are having a scheme. Under that, we are providing 35% subsidy. Subsidy is back-ended and credit linked. So these, and you can watch out and go through our website, that is nhb.gov.in. All the schemes are already on that. So you please visit that. If any query, anything if you find, so you please contact to our people's or officer. We are having 29 offices across the country. So you can get the phone number, mobile number and address of the officer. Our head office is in Gurgaon only. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Singh sir. I think very informative. They have the programs, they have the schemes of polyhouse, net house, which also constitute a part of framework around urban farming. So it would be very useful that those ecosystem can be leveraged which are existing, and definitely new policy framework which is in process and probably in some point of time they will also come. Now I'll probably move to Sindhuji, and considering his probably exposure around policy, and Delhi has recently announced urban policy. Sindhu sir, we would really understand and wanted to really probably take your ideas how this really policy is being shaping up, and other various states and UTs is going to follow. So your thoughts on this?
Thank you very much, Raj. Dear friends, as we are listening to the expert that this vertical gardening, though it's a quite a new subject, but it is not too new to all of us sitting here. One of the another that we are seeing and we are practicing this vertical gardening, vertical farming, one way or the other. It's just like a three-tier system we are traveling in a train. So we can grow different kind of a commodity at one time. You can grow vegetables, you can grow flowers, and you can grow even the aromatic and medicinal plants under one single roof. So I have seen particularly, and I have acknowledged and I have assessed one of the project of the National Horticulture Board at Srinagar, particularly in Baramulla district, that one of the gentlemen, he has grown saffron, then he has grown strawberry, and then he has grown production of bulbs of tulip and the lily. So everyone has to come together and we have to join the hands to promote and to make it more feasible this particular approach as per the particular person which Chirag had just asked me that I would like to bring your time notice that IRL has signed one project on smart urban farming. My colleague Dr. Navid Sabir is also a part of that. My own entire team, we are a team member of some 30-40 expert in vegetable flowers and fruits are associated with that project, and that cost of the project is not too high, it's hardly 1.10 crore. So it's hardly a crore ka jo project that has been signed with the Delhi government, and that is going to be launched very soon by the Honorable Sri Gopal Raji, anytime, Minister of Environment, and that will cover the 40 training program in the different corner of the Delhi. It is just like a Mohalla clinic, under which that Dr. Hassan, who is not physically available with us today, our colleague, that he is given a responsibility as a model officer to implement that program, and under that program will be given different kind of training component. First we will develop a master trainer. Then down the line, that master trainer will give the training to the beneficiaries, particularly the RWA or those who have been associated and they are interested in it. Here, just I wanted to bring to one of the point, very important point, Mr. Chirag, and the SK Singh sitting on that talk to me that from NHB that the guidelines, particularly for the urban farming, vertical farming, it should be included in the guideline of the National Horticulture Mission, as well as NHB also should include in your scheme, so that some substantial amount of subsidy can be given, and this particular new concept can be promoted, particularly those who are interested, or even everyone has to go into it. Because of the population pressure and shrinking of the resources day by day, and people are living in the metro cities. So already that national MIDH, once upon a time I remember that I have submitted the guideline, what are the costs, what are the different frames, and what should be the subsidy kind of thing. Rough draft already we have submitted, but I don't know, you can check with your GS, with your MD, NHB. At the same time, National Horticulture Mission Director is the same person, Dr. Priyanjan. So, if it is being included in the mission for integrated development of horticulture, this particularly this urban farming, then it will be a great boost up to this particular scheme.
Great, sir. I think it's the right process you have launched that it should be as an inclusion should be taken up, and whatever the Delhi government which has initiated, I am sure the other states would like to follow. Now probably I'll move to Chalaya ji and a thought that because there has been immense opportunity, there has been a possible program which would also come in some point of time. But how do you think the key issues and challenges which probably are needs to be addressed very critically, which can take this kind of platform to further heights? Quickly, sir, if you want, just a couple of issues and challenges which you would like to address to take new heights.
In the urban farming, there are a lot of challenges there. Practically, if you take the landscaping, there is also challenges. The biggest challenge is non-availability of the qualified and professional landscape people. In this industry, it's totally engaged by the other professional people. So what happens when the other professional people enter into this industry? Obviously, they start up good and end up bad. The reason is they don't have adequate knowledge and experience in this field. Because of that, they very attractively they give the cost packages, all those things. But due to the inadequacy of the experience and all those things, and they end up in the bad. And secondly, the landscaping, the city landscaping. Either you take vertical gardening, it's cosmetic today, but per square meter is range from 8,000 to 25,000, 30,000. But there is no any standardization of things. So which people some people they wanted to do, but seeing this variation, 8,000, even 5,000 and 25,000. They really their reliability. इसी इंडस्ट्री के ऊपर एक ऐसे लगता है अरे कुछ ये लूट रहे हैं. So the professional people should come up. That is our challenge. Secondly, the challenges is availability of inputs, right inputs. Suppose if I wanted to do the vertical gardening or kitchen gardening in my terrace, my wife is practicing since last 10 years that kitchen gardening in my terrace. But the challenge is always availability of the good inputs material. अगर कुछ inputs material अगर मैं बीज लेना चाहता हूँ, बीज सही बीज नहीं मिलता, not appropriate seeds available. ये कहते हैं बढ़िया सीड्स ये ले जाओ बढ़िया मिलेगा, लेकिन जो लेकर आते हैं वहाँ पर जर्मिनेट ही नहीं होती. फिर वो कहते हैं मैडम आपको मिट्टी सही नहीं है, या पानी सही नहीं है, या आपको समय सही नहीं है. So बचने के लिए बहुत कुछ इस फील्ड में है, परफेक्टनेस है. So ये भी है inputs, अगर inputs availability है, then the cost of the inputs also one. Even you see that cocoa peat, cocoa briquettes. If you see 5 kg, one shop selling 5 kilo that one briquettes at the rate of 145 rupees. The another one shop is selling 90 rupees. So really it's a confusion. And secondly, how they are selling again, cocoa peat अच्छा लेकर हम पौधे लगाते हैं, seeds germinate तो हो जाता है, उसके बाद मर जाता थोड़ी समय पर. This what it indicates that the quality of cocoa peats varies because that also GC level उसी में people cheating हो जाता. So एक genuinity in the market is not done. They compromise just for the selling their product. They themselves compromise. That is a very big lack why this area. अगर आपको प्रोडक्ट जेन्युइन अगर सारे लोग रखते हो, बहुत अच्छा एक ईमानदारी से रखते हैं, बढ़िया एक स्टैंडर्ड आ जाता है इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर में. बिकॉज कई इन्वेस्टर्स क्या करते हैं, स्ट्रॉबेरी ग्रो करना, अगर टाइम ग्रो करना, रोजबेरी ग्रो करना, लेटस ग्रो करना, मैं कोको पीट इसी दुकान पे लेकर आता हूँ, फिर सीड्स डालते आ जाता है, कुछ सीडलिंग लेकर आते आ जाता है, फिर बाद में ऐसे हो जाता है. बिकॉज हाई इजी करता है, प्रॉपर प्रोसेसिंग नहीं था, वॉशिंग नहीं था, सीएल रेशियो प्रॉपर. because of that also. So these kind of the challenges. Again, the challenges, availability of the skilled person, the biggest challenge. हर लोग चाहते हैं मेरे को अच्छा गार्डनर चाहिए, लेकिन गार्डनर नहीं मिलता। गार्डनर्स के लिए कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट भी नहीं है, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सेक्टर में नहीं है। लेबर चौक से लेकर आते हैं, अगर लैंडस्केपिंग काम करना बड़े बड़े काम है, लेबर चौक से लेकर आते हैं लेबर। वो क्या जानते हैं, गार्डनिंग के बाद वो ABCD नहीं जानते, उनसे क्या काम कर रहे हैं। सो दैट मीन्स प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ द पर्सन। मैं 800 रुपया पे करता हूँ एक लेबर के, लेकिन वो कितना काम करेगा? चलो 800 रुपया, लेकिन पूरा दिन उनके साथ एक सुपरवाइजर करना इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट। इसी प्रकार किचन गार्डनिंग हो या वर्टिकल गार्डनिंग हो, काम करने के लिए स्किल्ड पर्सन के हमारे जो यहाँ पर दिल्ली कैपिटल में बहुत क्राइसिस है। पूरा इंडिया में, मैं तो यकीन करता हूँ पूरा इंडिया में भी प्रॉब्लम है। इसी के लिए इसके स्किल्ड गार्डनर्स डेवलप करने के लिए हमें एक अक्रॉस द कंट्री एक नेटवर्क फॉर्म करना पड़ेगा। ऑल द नर्सरीज है, अर्बन हॉर्टिकल्चर सेंटर है, ये सारे नेटवर्क करके उन लोगों के पास ट्रेनिंग दे दो, 6 महीने दे दो, फिर उसके बाद एक अच्छा गार्डन बनाओ, अच्छा स्मार्ट ड्रेस पहनाओ, अच्छा टूल्स दे दो, स्मार्टली काम करें। लोग भी काम करने वाला भी खुशी खुशी हो जाएंगे, जो काम लेने वाला भी खुशी खुशी हो जाएंगे, विन विन सिचुएशन हो जाएगा। देश के इतना बड़ा मिल जाएगा, 5 मिलियन का जो नौकरी है इसी सेक्टर में है, लेकिन नोबडी रियलाइजिंग है। इट इज अनएक्सप्लोर्ड सेक्टर। इसी सेक्टर के अगर टैप करते हैं तो देश के जो आठवीं पढ़ते हैं उसके बाद पढ़ नहीं पा रहे, 10वीं पढ़ने के बाद उसके बाद पढ़ नहीं पा रहे, उन लोग के 20-20 हजार में कम से कम सैलरी में काम कर सकते हैं, काम दे सकते हैं। उसी के लिए एक गार्डनर स्किल इंस्टीट्यूट के चाहिए। मैंने इसी मुद्दा में एक हमारे पास इंडियन में न्यू दिल्ली म्युनिसिपल काउंसिल में वी हैव स्टार्टेड स्कूल ऑफ गार्डनिंग, पिछले 10 साल से हम करते आ रहे हैं, लेकिन एक इंस्टीट्यूट कितना कर सकता है? इसलिए हर सिटी में कम से कम 10 इंस्टीट्यूट तो चाहिए। इवन ICR इंस्टीट्यूट सारे जो अपने रिसर्च पे कर रहे हैं, उन लोग इसी प्रकार भी एक स्किल्ड लेबर प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए भी नो स्किल ट्रेनिंग देना चाहिए। और KVK कितना हमारे देश में, उसमें भी दे हैव टू गिव द ट्रेनिंग, 6 मंथ ट्रेनिंग दे दो, बिकॉज़ ये कंप्लीट इफ यू वांट make a one complete garden, it will take naturally 10 years by and large. But if you give the training, hands-on training, not classroom study, because classroom study training में मेरा कोई विश्वास नहीं है, वो just ऐसे कुछ कह देते हैं फिर बाहर आने के बाद भूल जाते हैं। Just inculcate hands-on training in the field। इसलिए मैं अभी क्या करना चाह रहा हूँ, just जो भी करना चाहते हैं हमारे पास आ जाए, वो हमारे साथ काम करो, 3 महीने हमारे साथ काम करो, फिर हम 3 महीने जो सपोज है अदर MNC कंपनी नोएडा में हो या गुड़गांव में हो या दिल्ली में हो, वहाँ एक कंपनी में एक महीने, सो मल्टी एक्सपोजर हो जाएगा। 6 महीने में उनको कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ जाएगा। अगर कॉन्फिडेंस एक बंदा के बढ़ गया, ये अपने सेल करने की शुरुआत करेगा, अपने सेल करना था, फिर अपने स्टैंडअप होने बहुत अच्छा एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिल जाए। ये लोग सारे इकट्ठा करके हर प्लेटफॉर्म में एक वेबसाइट पर डाल दिया, जो भी एरिया में किसके माली चाहिए, उसी एरिया में या मुंबई में या दिल्ली में या सकरपुर में या पटेल नगर में, दे कैन सर्च वेयर इज द ट्रेंड माली अवेलेबल। सो उसी लोकेशन से कोड पिक कर सकते हैं। सपोज बॉन्साई में एक्सपर्ट्स चाहिए, मेरे को घास मेंटेनेंस के एक्सपर्ट चाहिए, या फाउंटेन एक्सपर्ट चाहिए, या एनिमल गार्डन में एक्सपर्ट चाहिए, किचन गार्डन में एक्सपर्ट चाहिए, या वर्टिकल गार्डन में एक्सपर्ट चाहिए, सब कुछ हम इसी प्रकार कर सकते हैं। सो चैलेंजेस है, लेकिन पोटेंशियल है इससे भी बहुत है। टैप करने के आपको बड़ा चाहिए। अगर टैप कर दिया, पूरा हमारे इंडिया के जो डेवलप्ड नेशन होना, ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड इंडिया होना बड़ी दूर नहीं है, लंबी दूर नहीं है।
Thank you.
सस्टेनेबल इंडिया बड़ी अच्छी
Please have a lot of applause.
Thank you sir.
I think great thoughts in terms of really putting it up, well-dressed gardeners, a platform, then definitely hands-on experience in training. So all these probably lead to something like a center of excellence, where we can have such kind of excellence in place, and RC grades and whatever we have seen in terms of horticulture. I think the role of center of excellence has been huge, and so probably Annapurna, I'll just take you through, right? Center of excellence probably emerging to be a potential area which would talk about training, which would talk about excellence, which would talk about probably some kind of similar agri input areas also. So how would be your take to take this up?
So, as Chinaya sir has elaborated that we do lack skilled labor. This is also a discussion I had with my secretary horticulture, that there are people who are interested in doing these things, but again, the lack of skills, the lack of know-how, the lack of knowledge is a huge problem. In fact, yesterday I had taken somebody who I know who has a hydroponic farm to meet him, and the one thing that sir said to this person was that you have such a big setup. Why can't you sort of help us train people? And this person, in his hydroponic farm, he does allow people to come in, spend a few days, understand what is going on, which I think is a great initiative. And again, this is just one farm that I know of that is doing this. The idea is to have as many people open up their doors to people to understand how this whole system works and see if they can actually invest themselves in some money in doing such things. As for the Centers of Excellence, Israel has set up Centers of Excellence in horticulture and they're doing really good work. I visited one in Gujarat a couple of months back, and just by virtue of numbers, the amount of productivity increase that farmers there have seen in yields, the amount of inputs that they've been able to reduce the production of crops, that is amazing. And the idea should be to sort of leverage knowledge that a country like Israel has. Again, Dubai has done amazingly well in that they initially faced with lack of skilled labor, but they did pick up on it, they did manage to solve that problem. And I do feel that, again, as a government body, in essence, as somebody who interacts with the Minister of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, we should take this up with the Dubai government, understand what they did, the kind of support that the government extended in terms of training, subsidies, policy, and just see how we can also push this forward, because we have people who are ready to help out. We just need to figure out the best ways to train them at this point.
Thank you. I think this is very useful in terms of really probably best practices which are emerging in various parts of the world, and to probably really put up for India to suit their benefits. And all those probably align to something like a technology, right? There is definitely a need of technology, and this is something which I would like to ask Mrs. Singh. That technology probably coming up as an important, very important component in the complete agriculture horticulture ecosystem. So, what are your views to probably make it as a very substantial part of whatever we do in terms of the policy mechanism, in terms of the activity which we undertake? How we can really promote new innovative technologies across horticulture and agriculture ecosystem is the question, sir. SK Singh, sir, please.
Yeah, actually, National Horticulture Board is very supportive in this regard. So, innovative technology and techniques which are adopting in the horticulture field, always we are proactive and will take care in future and will support to that technology. Any technology like either it may be in field of horticulture I mean to say like in floriculture, fruits, vegetable, flowers, like that. So always NHB is considering in past also, and will take care and will consider in future also.
Thank you, sir. I think very useful. Now I will just close the session, and 30 seconds I would request my panelists to probably your last thoughts which are running in your mind and you would like to probably give it to the audiences. Around 30-35 seconds, that's all. So we'll start with Sidhu ji, if you can start your last thoughts around this